first half of the 2012 season had some spectacular moments. Last night wasn't one of them as Hunter Pence ran into Juan Samuel. He wound up scoring the run. It was the only inning the Phillies scored in last night's ball game. But now on the doorstep of the All-Star break, the Phillies will wrap up this three-game series against the Atlanta Braves with the hopes of a victory. They've lost 9 of their last 10 ball games. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy. Yes, we wrap up the first half of the 2012 season. It has not been a particularly good first half for the Phillies. Numbers-wise, offensively, their numbers have been okay. Runners in scoring position, not so great. But overall, the batting average, third in the National League. The runs per game, for most of the first half, the Phillies have scored enough runs to win ball games. But one thing that they're not used to downstairs is the earned run average at 4.24, which is 11th in the National League. The starter's ERA over 4, and of course the bullpen earned run average is just under 5. But there have been moments, and here they are, the moments from the first half of the 2012 season.
On the run, back to the wall, reaches up and makes the catch. Pitch broke his bat, shattered it. Nick's got way off the bag. Galvis running to the bag. He got him. Wow. Bunts out of the game. Now Alonso's coming to the plate. The flip by Hamill's a beauty. Lines one, deep left field, going back on a Martinez. It is gone! Game-winning home run for Hunter Pence, and the Phillies walk off with a 4-3 victory over the Houston Astros. Hits it over toward the left side. Rollins has it, throws home. They get him at the plate. Victorino going back. He jumps and he made the catch. Being waved tall. Pence is up with it. Here's his throw to the plate on one hop. Ruiz hung on. Molina's going to third. He's being waved home by Oquendo. The throw to the plate by Freddie Galvis on one hop. Ruiz hangs on. To center field. Mayberry on his horse, going back, reaches up and he makes the catch. He falls to the ground. What a play by John Mayberry. Now the 2-2 pitch. Hit back toward the middle. Scudero's got it. Throws to first in time. No save! His foot was off the bag. The Phillies have won it. Towards shortstop. They've got to play at the plate. Fowler's coming home, so is the throw, and he is out at the plate. Back toward the middle. Nice play by Martinez. What a flip to Rollins for one. That's all they'll get. In the air to left field. Towering shot. Forget about it. He did it. Jim Thome, opposite field, pinch hit home run, and the Phillies have won it. A walk-off home run for Jim Thome.
Second baseman, Chase Utley.
In the air to right field. That's pretty deep. Going back is Tamina. How about this? It's gone. Chase Utley in his return to the Phillies has gone yard. Man, does he have a
The end of the anthem performance. Keystone State Boys Choir as the Phillies and the Atlanta Braves get set to wrap up this 3-game series. Chipper Jones is exchanging the lineup cards right now at home plate along with Pete McCann and the umpires for this afternoon's ball game. Vance Worley just went out to the mound to start his warm-up tosses. It's not the final time that Chipper will be here at Citizens Bank Park. They still have 2 more visits, but he does have the afternoon off. Exchanging some pleasantries with the Philly fanatic, Jerry Lane, chatting with Carlos Ruiz.
Yeah, and they'll honor Chipper Jones, Tom. That's your point. It's only the first trip in here. Everywhere Chipper's been going this year, the last game there, the last series, or the only series he goes in, maybe the team does honor him. And I'm sure the Phillies will do something very special because we talked about the other night, a lot of Chipper Jones's career has been right here in this city.
Well, the Braves are looking for the series sweep this afternoon. The Phillies are hoping to end the first half with a victory. Let's take a look at the Braves starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in center field, Michael Bourne. Martin Prado bats second. Jason Hayward hits third, followed by Brian McCann and Freddie Freeman. Dan Uggla's the second baseman. He'll bat sixth. Simmons, the shortstop, who made some wonderful defensive plays last night, will bat seventh. Juan Francisco hits eighth, and then Jair Jurgens is the pitcher today. He'll bat ninth. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Vance Worley, 4-5, an earned run average of 3.46. He was roughed up in his last outing. We haven't said that often when it comes to Vance Worley, but he was indeed roughed up in his last outing against the New York Mets.
Had one of those games where he didn't miss a whole lot of bats. And just an unfortunate game that, hit him hard, hit him soft. He just couldn't get people out in that game. Here's our scouting report on him, and he hasn't pitched a whole lot against the Atlanta Braves, but those are his lifetime numbers. 4 games, 2 of them starts. And they just want him to go out there and command the game for them this afternoon. One of Worley's problems is you look up after 6 innings and he's over 100 pitches a lot of games. So as a result, he can't go deep into a ball game.
Well, Michael Bourne will lead it off for the Braves. Bourne is 3 for 7 in this series. All 3 hits came yesterday. The first pitch of the day is taken outside, so we're underway. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Bourne scored 2 runs yesterday. He has scored 3 runs so far in this series.
Yeah, and a 3-hit game is nothing for him. That's only 15 of them this year.
1-0 pitch to Bourne. And that's a little high. 2 balls and no strikes. Worley lifetime is 16-9. His earned run average is a little over 3. He's 1-0 against the Braves in 2 starts. And he finally throws a strike, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Both the catchers are playing today, which is very unusual. Play a day game after a brutally hot night game like last night, but you do have the All-Star break, even though it's not really a break for them.
2-1 the count to Bourne. Outside, 3-1. That's the first time in 6 years that Brian McCann is not heading to the All-Star game.
Yeah, that's surprising too. Did they ever add a third catcher?
No. Nope, it's Ruiz and Buster Posey.
Well, that's a lot to ask.
Here's Martin Prado. That ball's hit on 1 hop to short. Rollins has to hurry the throw and does. And there's 1 away here in the top of the first. And here comes Prado. Prado 2 for 9 in this series. Last night he had an RBI double and an RBI single.
Well, Bourne and Prado really a good 1-2 punch for the Atlanta Braves when they're on. Prado can move the ball around. He can drive it. He can hit it to right and right center. He can protect Bourne if he wants to try and steal. Very good 2-hole hitter.
See Prado, what he's done since the 20th of June. He has closed this first half in dazzling fashion, much like Chipper Jones, who's not playing this afternoon.
Yeah, he can play third if they need him. He can play second. He's in the outfield now, playing left field for them.
First pitch to Prado. And let's take it inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Folks wondering who's available, who's not available for today's ball game. Cliff Lee did throw a bullpen today before the start of this one, so he's probably not available. We had thought that there was a chance he could pitch. Charlie had said as much in New York the other day, but he said we'd have to wait and see. Roy Halladay is going to head to Clearwater. He doesn't live too far from Clearwater, following the ball game, and he's going to throw down in Clearwater during the break. Phillies have set their rotation for the weekend in Denver, but there's a good chance that we could see Roy soon after the weekend. 3-0 the count to Prado. And that's good news.
Yeah, he's coming along really well right now. Hopefully no setbacks, and he will be back in the major leagues pretty soon.
3-0 the count to Prado. And there's ball 4. So Prado's aboard. It's a 1-out walk.
Well, time now for the Nissan Keys of this afternoon's game. Not real complicated. How about winning before the break and then use this time to regroup a little bit? This has been a little bit grim lately.
Yeah, last night's game was one of those games that for the first couple of innings, Charlie Manuel's team had an awful lot of energy, but then the energy was sapped by Tommy Hanson, who, after allowing the 3 runs in the second, the Phils had a 3-1 lead, just settled in and pitched fantastic baseball over 7 innings of work.
Phils had 1 man left on base last.
That's it. Here's Jason Hayward with the runner at first, and Hayward takes a strike. It's 0-1.
It's not because they were knocking a lot of the other ones in.
Now that their second inning was a great inning. They wound up sending 7 men to the plate. The Braves were helped out because Jimmy Rollins, who looked like he had second base stolen, was called out by Mike McClinsky to finish off the inning. And replays showed, and even naked eye, it seemed like he was safe, but the replays showed that he was safe.
And he unfortunately got them both wrong last night on plays at second.
Yep.
Well, that'll happen.
Jerry Lane, the crew chief, is out at second base. Dan Bellino is behind the plate. 0-2 the count to Jason Hayward. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Hayward really is far off the plate. There you see Prado on at first base, and you know they jammed him so much early in his career that he's decided to hit this way.
Well, they tried the 2-seamer, and Bellino said it was inside. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
They tried the inside corner, tried the outside corner, now the inside corner.
Just didn't come back all the way, and that's really been the case the last couple of starts for Vince. There have been times when that pitch has been really good, but it hasn't been as consistent as it used to be. Infield is set up for 2. And a foul ball, and the count remains 2-2. There's Brian McCann, who has kind of figured out his swing during this series.
Well, he could hit here all the time. He'd never have any trouble with his swing. He just kills the Phillies in this ballpark. He hits them in Atlanta too, but especially here.
Outside and low, 3-2 the count to Hayward.
He's already thrown a lot of pitches, and you know that's one of Worley's things is maybe throughout his career he'll be able to control a little bit better.
Well, you wonder if the bone spur has anything to do with it. His velocity is not exactly where it was before. He has to handle it or manage it throughout the course of the season. Runner goes, pitch is taken up high, ball 4. So back-to-back walks. That puts runners on first and second.
Well, Ruiz thought he had a strike there. That's the only reason he threw that thing, or else he got a late call.
During the 2012 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs.
Hayward with a really good eye and had it bat. There were some very close pitches that he took.
So with 1 away and runners on first and second, Brian McCann will be the hitter. McCann, lifetime in this ballpark, .354 with 10 home runs, including 2 in this series, and 16 doubles. So 26 extra base hits.
In this ballpark.
In this ballpark.
That's pretty good hitting.
That was a changeup from Worley. And the fans acknowledging the strike.
Yeah, a little Bronx cheer here in South Philly.
I don't know if they did that for Dan Bellino or if they just did it for the strike. Maybe both.
Oh, we crossed him up. Or else something really fooled Ruiz.
Last night, the Braves did pull off a couple of double steal attempts. I should say one, and then another one. Chipper Jones decided not to run when Prado took off to third. You got to watch him. You know, Hayward not being held on, he's going to get a good jump. Prado inching off second.
Yeah, they were doing that off Diekman last night. He must not have been paying attention.
Liner foul down the left field line, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's a nice catch by a gentleman who brought his glove to the game.
Best base running play of the night was Michael Bourne from third to home on the third strike in the dirt. When Ruiz threw to first, he was gone.
Yeah, Carlos looked it back. He was a couple steps off the bag when he looked it back, and by the time it got to first, John Mayberry could not maneuver his footwork to make a clean throw to the plate. Or a quick throw to the plate. One-two pitch. And on the ground to third. That should be 2. Fontenot flips to second for 1. Utley has some time to double clutch and throw out Brian McCann. A 5-4-3 double play. It took a little extra time, but the job was done perfectly. Brian McCann finally held in check with an RBI situation upon him. Look at Chase, double pumped. He took a couple of steps and still fired a strike. Busch with a reminder from Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Designated driver. By Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. By Citizens Bank. We're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross. No matter where you are in life or business, we have plans that fit. Go to plansthatfit.com. Scoreless ball game as we go to the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Juan Pierre bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Ryan Howard and Carlos Ruiz. Hunter Pence is the right fielder, then the bottom third of Pridey, Fontenot, and Worley. And they'll face 26-year-old Jair Jurgens. Jurgens has had a very odd last couple of years. He throws a strike to Rollins. It's 0-1.
It's been injury plagued. He was an all-star last year, too, in the midst of all this. He started the year shaky, went down to AAA, and that is overall numbers here in the major leagues. A lot of hits per innings pitch. He's always been a guy. Well, there was a period, I guess, where you could get some strikeouts, but he's basically a sinker, slider, changeup. But in his last 7 games against the Phillies, really outstanding numbers.
But his fastball or his sinker is nowhere near the velocity that it used to be. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Rollins. That one's in the air to center field. Michael Bourne is out there. And he'll put it away for the first out. One gone here in the first. Jurgens has been plagued by some shoulder problems over the last couple of years, but also a bum knee, which put him on the disabled list last year to start the year. He was plagued by it throughout the course of the season. It was kind of odd. And then this year just didn't pitch that well in spring training. They set him down to the minors. He didn't pitch that well in the minors either.
And he had a terrible start to the season, losing a couple of decisions with a high ERA. He's always lived off his sinker. You know, a decent slider, a little changeup he'll throw too, but sinker is his pitch.
Here's Juan Pierre, a .312 hitter with a home run and 18 runs batted in. And Pierre pulls it toward the hole. Diving play ugly from his knees. He throws Juan out. So 2 outs on 5 pitches. Make it 4 pitches. Here comes Chase Utley.
This is not a team that sees a lot of pitches in the course of the game, nor do they walk a lot.
It's a nice play by Utley. It wasn't hit that hard, but he was shallow because of the speed of Juan Pierre.
Yeah, that's why it was surprising you cut off the angle as shallow as it was. If he's deeper, it's a much easier play because, as Tom said, it wasn't hit all that hard. And you don't expect Utley necessarily to make those kind of plays. That was a good one.
Chase Utley's 0 for 7 in the series. His average at .233 with a couple home runs since his return. And he takes a strike at the knees. It's 0-1.
Utley and Howard, 2 guys that have seen Jurgens a lot over the years.
Chase has 3 home runs against him. He has 5 hits overall. There's Ryan on deck.
Yeah, they both play today, and then they don't have another game until Friday.
Charlie said yesterday, just talking to him before the ball game, that after the break they're going to think a little bit more about Chase and whether they're just going to let him loose. Now they realize that they're 14 games out. They still feel that there's a chance to make a run. It has to start as soon as possible, obviously, but they may let him loose and see what happens. 1-1 the count to Utley. And he takes low. 2-1. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Lauren Fisher of Bethlehem. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, and Lauren will win $300. Ball's hooked toward the hole. There's a base hit for Utley. So a 2-out single brings Howard up here in the bottom of the first. Ryan did not play in last night's ball game. He was 2 for 4 in his first game back. Said he felt good yesterday. His numbers against Jurgens are pretty good. 8 for 30 with a home run. He has 37 career home runs against the Braves, and now they implement the overshift with him. They didn't do it the other night.
Nope.
I guess they wanted to see what his swing was like. Plus, with Jurgens not being as hard a thrower.
Yeah, he and Hudson are throwing their fastball about the same velocity.
You're right. They are.
That's why looking out there just now trying to figure out why they're doing it. And they are going to use the third baseman as a shortstop too, Francisco.
0-1 the count to Howard. And Howard fights it off down the left field line, and it's going to slice into the seats.
See, some teams when they do these shifts, though, you leave their shortstop over there and put the third baseman on that side. Depends. Normally, though, with the Braves, Chipper Jones, yeah, he plays in that spot when he's at third. So that's Atlanta's philosophy.
Marlins were the first to do it, and Freddie Gonzalez was with Florida when they did it that way, where they moved the shortstop or the third baseman over to the right side and kept the shortstop in his spot. 0-2 the count to Howard with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. And Ryan takes a call, strike 3. He thought it was a little low, may have thought it was inside, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We've completed 1. We move to the second. Howard not too pleased with the scoreless game. to see every Phillies out-of-market game live online on your favorite devices in HD quality. You can even watch the All-Star game on MLB.tv. Visit Phillies.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Folks, soaking in the Phillies game one more time for the All-Star break. 4 days off for the club. They'll fly out to Denver on Thursday and then play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Denver. Carlos Ruiz has his bags packed. He had 2 big suitcases ready to go for his trip to Kansas City. Jonathan Papelbon was doing the same today. He had a bag that said Denver, and he had a bag that said Kansas City. And Cole Hamels, they were all honored before the start of the ball game today. Along with the Philly fanatic, who I guess is going to be going to Kansas City as well.
He belongs there.
Freddie Freeman will lead it off.
True all-star, the Philly fanatic.
Freeman, a .260 hitter. And the first pitch is strike. It's 0-1. In fact, the Futures game is going on today. Phillies have a couple of representatives in that Futures game. Good pitch, a 2-seamer, and it's 0-2. Freeman is 1 for 2 lifetime against fans. Little chopper toward third. Fontenot charges, has it, throws on the run. Nice play. 1 out here in the second. Freeman doesn't run all that well. Fontenot runs well, particularly on that particular play, so he had a little extra time. It's still a tough play, though.
Yeah, these are always tough plays. Now, one thing that helps him a lot here is he gets a hop. He doesn't have to reach down and barehanded or take it off the ground with his glove. That always takes a little more time, and then your throwing can be a little more difficult. So that hop really helped make that play along with a slow runner.
That'll bring Dan Uggla to the plate. Well, you see Ugla's numbers in his last 30 ABs. There haven't been too many guys that have been struggling in this Braves lineup, but Uggla is the guy. Pops up a curveball.
When this guy goes into a funk, he really goes into one.
Well, pregame, the Phillies presented the All-Stars for this year with their All-Star batting practice jerseys. Carlos Ruiz got his number 51. You see the colors representing the colors of the Kansas City Royals. The National League wears the dark blue. The American League will wear the light blue. Mayor Nutter was on hand to congratulate this year's All-Stars. Cole Hamels, Carlos Ruiz, and Jonathan Papelbon.
Always a great honor. And it's nice when you hear players say that, too, how thrilled they are, what an honor it is to be an All-Star, because it is.
Well, and not for nothing, but the jerseys, I think they're really sharp this year. The ones they were presented. In fact, they're available at the Majestic Clubhouse store. In fact, there's a Carlos Ruiz t-shirt jersey that's available in the store. As Simmons takes strike 1, it's 1-1. Yesterday the Braves did their photo shoot. That's when everybody realized that Michael Bourne was going to the game, because he came out in full uniform for the photo shoot. One ball, one strike, the count to Simmons, 22-year-old. Lines one to second. Nice play on one hop by Utley. Well, the Phillies are flipping a little leather here this afternoon, at least here in the second inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Braves. We've played 1.5 on to the bottom of the second. Carlos Ruiz will lead it off when we get back. Jerseys and caps are now available for all 3 Phillies All-Stars, plus an exclusive All-Star Chooch name and number T-shirt. Only available at the Majestic Clubhouse store, open daily from 10 until 6. Last of the second. Nice crowd settling in. There are the jerseys. The All-Star logo on the sleeve with that Kansas City Royal, the king, the crown, which I think we all recognize has been part of their logo since their inception.
Yeah. They've changed their ballpark around since the last time we were there. It just looks so different on TV. It doesn't look like it's so wide open the way that
it's a nice place.
Yeah. Well, it has a lot of nice memories from 1980, I'll tell you.
Looks a lot different from 1980.
Big time different.
That carpet was some of the most unforgiving carpet that there was in Major League Baseball, too. Carlos Ruiz takes the first pitch upstairs. It's 1-0. Carlos is 1 for 8 in the series.
Phillies only won 1 game in the World Series out there, but it set up their championship 6th game here in Philadelphia at the Vet.
Ground ball back toward the middle. Even Simmons won't be able to get that.
Can't believe it.
Base hit for Ruiz. Simmons was catching everything last night.
That kid, you don't know. I mean, he's so young and he hasn't been here that long, Simmons. But he has a chance to be so good, and everything you hear about him. I love watching him play because there's no hot dog in him. And he's got an arm that he could throw it through the wall, and he doesn't try to show it off on every throw, too. There's just something about him. He looks so professional. Now, who knows? In a month or 2, he could come down to earth and not hit. But, boy, defensively, he's outrageous.
Oh, runner at first with nobody out. Here's Hunter Pence. Pence with 16 home runs and 50 runs batted in.
The other thing they say about him when you talk to the Braves people is he is one of those. He's a baseball player already, even though he grew up in Curacao. They say every play, watch him, he goes where you're supposed to go, or he senses what needs to be done to back up something.
Last night there was one play after another that he made, including one against Chase Utley that was just fantastic.
How about the charge play he made on Pierre? You know, he make that play you're talking about, deep throw, charge a ball. He has really quick feet.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Hunter Pence in a scoreless game. And Hunter checks his swing.
And no surprise too, you look out there, and when the sign's given, he's the one doing the mouth open, mouth closed to Ugly. And sometimes it'll be the veteran guy that'll do it, but it looks like already they've given him that responsibility. And what that means is who's going to cover after you see the pitch.
Pence asked for time. There's the signal from one to the other.
Yep.
Swing and a miss, and there's 1 out.
You look in, you see the sign, and either mouth open, mouth closed means I cover, you cover. Sometimes they'll change. They'll decide what they want to do on the pitch that's thrown, whether it's more likely to be pulled or hit the other way.
Oh, with 1 away, Jason Pridey's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, thank you very much, T-Mac. Well, obviously, at the All-Star break, it's when Major League teams historically take a look at the way the first half of the season went and what they have to do in the second half of the season. Obviously, here in Philadelphia, it has not been a good first part of the season. And you look back over the last 6 seasons when the Phils have had so much success, and you look at the numbers, so the Phils have never been in this situation before. The most they've ever really been out since 2007 is 4.5 games. So they obviously have some work to do, 13 games out. But in talking with the guys in this clubhouse, they're going to take this All-Star break and maybe refocus and, try to make a run in the second half. It's all they can do, and that's what they plan on doing when they get back here.
Yeah, the numbers, Murph, are just odd to look at. The fact that the Phillies are only 3 losses away from matching their total number of losses here at Citizens Bank Park from a year ago. Just 3 losses.
It is remarkable, Tom. And, Charlie was asked last night by Leslie Goodell of Comcast Sportsnet about the overall record, and they didn't have their 49th loss until September 11th of last season, and already they're at that point. So it has been a trying season, obviously, for all these guys involved, but it is only halfway over, and that's the only way they can look at it.
Yeah, it's Wheels, you were with Charlie today. I know I saw him for a little bit. He was kind of surprised when he heard that from Leslie. He knew it, but he didn't know it.
He knew it, but he didn't know. Right? He was still shaking his head.
Yeah.
He said when she said that to me, I went, yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Couldn't believe it.
Friday sends one in the air, deep to right field. That one's going to be long gone. A 2-run home run for Jason Friday, and the Phillies take the early lead. That's a good way to get your first home run in the Phillies uniform.
Yeah, when his name was announced today to the crowd, there was no reaction. Brian Howard, Carlos Ruiz, suddenly, big roars, yeah, and then Jason Friday just a polite little clap. Well, I think that was a high sinker, and boy, do they take a long ride.
A pretty nice swing for Friday, who was hitting .370 down to the minor leagues. Here's Mike Fontenot. It fills up 2-0, and Fontenot out in front. Friday was not in the original starting lineup, but he has just won $300 to Lauren Fisher of Bethlehem, courtesy the McDonald's home run jackpot.
That happens a lot of times too, when a guy doesn't start the game or wasn't in the original starting lineup, and then they do something positive.
Fontenot pulls one through the hole on the right side, a base hit, third hit of the inning for the Phillies.
Sturgeon's up with a lot of his stuff right now. Probably the best pitch he threw was to Howard, and Ryan thought that pitch was low.
For that home run and each one hit by a Phil's player this season, one tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees, a partnership between the Phillies, PHS, and Aramark. Home Runs for Trees is part of Plant 1 Million, a project to restore the region's tree coverage. For more information, visit phillies.com/red-goes-green. That young lady who caught the ball or got the ball is being escorted where she can get that ball autographed by Jason Friday.
That thing was deep into the seats.
That was.
Right, so that was one of those no doubt about it homers.
We mentioned that Friday was not in the original starting lineup. Shane Victorino was scheduled to start, but about a half hour before game time, as Worley squares and bunts foul again, it was announced that Friday would be in for Victorino. And the reason, because there's always a reason, it could be this, that, or the other thing, was a manager's decision. There's a lot of speculation going on as to why Shane was taken out of the lineup, and Charlie decided to make the decision. I'm sure we'll find out more after the game. As Worley bunts it beautifully to the right, Jurgens looked at second. Sacrifice is successful. 1-4 on the putout.
Good job by Vance Worley there to get the bunt down with 2 strikes. Take a look at the home run again. Watching his grip, it looked like a 2-seamer, and it just didn't sink at all. It just stayed up out over the plate, and Friday crushed it.
First home run since September of last year for Friday. That came with the Mets. That's a play by that young lady. Jimmy Rollins takes a strike. It's 0-1.
We'll pick up a 2-out run here now. The 8-hole hitter getting on, bunting him over.
Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Rollins. Jimmy flied out to center his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. Three and 1 the count. Toyota Major League scoreboard. The Cubs scored 4 runs in the first. They lead the Mets 4-0. Jonathan Neese has allowed the 4 runs on 6 hits. Good hitters count for Rollins with the runner at second. And he pops it up. Francisco will give it a look. He may have room. He does. Makes the catch right near the camera well. Side is retired. Phillies leave one in scoring position, but they do get 2 on a 2-run home run by Jason Friday. His first in the Phillies uniform. So at the end of 2, we move to the 3rd. The Phillies 2 and the Braves nothing. For all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, 5 Phillies were named to the 1979 All-Star Game in Seattle. I don't want you to name them. I want you to name the only Atlanta Brave to be on the All-Star team that year. Wow. The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. I bet you can answer the other part of it. 5 Phillies.
Oh, I'd have a good guess at that one. Yeah. I don't know if I could get all 5 of them.
Juan Francisco will lead it off here in the top of the 3rd. .226 with 6 home runs, 18 RBIs. What are you pointing to?
I was thinking about some guy who's here today. Could have been around that time.
I think you are on the right track. First pitch is hit foul off to the left and out of play.
A couple of really good ex-Braves here today, huh? John Smoltz is here, and Dale Murphy.
Francisco has not played in this series, although he's been listed in the box score.
Oh, he swings hard, this guy. We saw him with the Reds last year, a little bit with the Braves this year, and he's one of those guys you wonder if he has any other swing.
They got him because they knew they'd have to give Chipper Jones some days off. That's where he's there. Where he's at today at 3rd for Chipper. Takes low, 2-1. The other night, on Friday night, in a scoreless ball game, in the top of the 8th inning, he was inserted as a pinch hitter. At that point, Charlie Manuel went out and took Kyle Kendrick out of the game because he wanted to bring Antonio Bastardo in to face the lefty. Charlie knew that Francisco wouldn't hit. He knew that they would go to the right-hander, but he wanted them to burn a couple players. Anyway, they went to the right-handed hitter instead of Francisco, and then Bastardo wound up giving up 5 runs. 2-2 the count. And a call, strike 3. Two-seamer ran right back.
Well, at the time, you know, when that stuff's happened, you and I sit here and just throw stuff out on some ideas on why they may have done what they did. And after the game, Charlie talked about why they did it. Here's that two-seamer, as Tom said, it runs back. That's a good one. He gets a lot of called thirds, and the reason was kind of what we were talking about, that they were so heavily left-handed at that point that he wanted Bastardo in the game. Unfortunately, it didn't work. It blew up because Bastardo just couldn't get the job done. But the idea behind it was to have a left-hander against all those left-handed hitters and to turn Jones around.
Jair Jurgen's 125 hitter this year. And he's down in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You know, they sit down.
Even to count, 1 ball, 1 strike.
They sit down there on that bench and they're thinking, "Boy, there's Bastardo right now." they're thinking way ahead of time on moves they're going to make, and they had gotten Kendrick to that point. He does struggle with left-handed hitters. They'd hit a lot of balls hard off him. They decided to make the move, blew up in their face.
Charlie did say today that Bastardo is still the 8th inning guy. He'll use him today if he needs to.
Yeah, they're still committed to him. They feel that he has ability and can handle the role.
1-2 the count to Jurgens. And a called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Worley.
Controlling the fastball pretty well right now, and that's the key to Vance. It's a key to any pitcher, but especially guys that don't throw hard, like Worley and Blanton. They really have to command their fastball and then use their other stuff. Worley will use his fastball as more of an out pitch even because he uses that two-seamer, that sinker.
Michael Bourne grounded out to shortstop his first time up. It was actually a one-hopper to shortstop. 0-1 the count to him. Now 1 ball and 1 strike.
To play with your third baseman has to be up. And Ryan Howard was up a little bit and now back behind the bag.
One ball, 2 strikes the count to Bourne. It's one back toward the middle. That'll be a base hit. He just reached out and was able to get enough on it to poke it into center. Martin Prado is due up. Budweiser, through the Walk-Off a Hero program, will donate $5,000 to Folds of Honor for every Phillies walk-off win. Please join Budweiser and the Phillies in honoring those who keep our nation safe and free.
Michael Bourne hands the gloves, puts his sliding gloves on. Terry Pendleton over there at first base, and great running situation for them.
Chatting with his old friend Ryan Howard.
Yeah, Ryan Howard, Jimmy, Shane Victorino, those guys are real good friends with Michael Bourne.
Prado takes upstairs. It's 1-0.
Which is pretty easy to be friends with Michael Bourne. That's one of the nicest people you ever meet. Very respectful of everybody of the game, and you know, I think everybody around here, you don't like him beating you, but you're glad he's successful.
He's turned out to be a heck of a pro.
He sure is, and he is a pro too. He was as a young player, you know, he was one of those kids, you know, he was kind of wide-eyed. He'd ask questions as opposed to some of them who come up and know everything right away. And he was a pleasure to be around.
His high water mark in stolen bases was 61 back in 08 with Houston. Takes inside, does Prado, and it's 2-1. Braves would like to re-sign him, but he's a free agent at the end of this season. I thought he had 1 more year of arbitration eligibility, but he's a free agent after this year.
Well, we're talking about that in the office this morning because he's an attractive player.
Fly ball center field. Jason Pridey ventures back. And he'll put it away. So the Braves get a hit with 2 outs. They leave 1 on to the bottom of the 3rd. Chase Utley, Ryan Howard. Pierre grounded out his first time up. It was a good play by Dan Uggla. Now Dan Bellino, the home plate umpire, steps out from behind the dish. You know he's a lawyer, Lewis.
Yeah, I read that in his bio. Some fans were yelling at him after Howard struck out after that first inning.
Fans of lawyers?
I don't know if they were thinking about him as a lawyer, more as a baseball
An arbiter.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a count to Pierre.
Yeah, they were not happy.
Those fans up here in the Hall of Fame club.
Man, they were loud.
Francisco weighing in on the grass at third, and Pierre showed bunt for a moment and takes it for a strike.
Might hear him again pretty soon. Where do they overshift Juan Pierre? Unbelievable how much room he has in right center field. Look at that. I mean, that's almost unprecedented unless you're a pitcher to have that defense.
I think Juan has talked about that. He said if you don't, fall in love with trying to do that, you'll be okay. Because he doesn't have the pop to consistently do it.
He is what he is, and he's got to play his game.
2-2 the count to Pierre.
Been pretty successful.
To the right side again. Uggla doesn't have to leave his feet. And he makes the play. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Acura. Acura Advance. By WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. By Citizens Bank. We're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. And by Honda. Visit your Honda dealer right now for great deals. Only a Honda is a Honda. Chase Utley singled his first time up and then was left over at first. Throw a changeup, and it's 0-2. Well, 90 miles an hour is the topper right now for Jurgens. He threw a 93 or so, 94.
Yeah, he was I'd say 92, 93 guy. Sinker was a little heavier before all these physical problems. Yeah, he's kind of a fine liner right now. He's got to make his pitches or he's going to get hurt.
Swing and a miss. He made his pitch there. The bat goes beyond the first base bag. Third strikeout for Jurgens.
That was off speed. Breaking ball, changeup. Something really full Chase Utley got him way out front. The slider. And you see how far out front he is and loses control of the bat. Freeman was going to try and catch it out there, and he said, nah, I don't think
Howard struck out Lookie his first time up. And he's had 1 ball, no strikes. I think everybody feels exactly that way. Welcome back, Ryan Howard.
Welcome back to your overshift.
Out in front just a tad, 1-1.
He's really mixing them up now, throwing more sliders, change-ups. There's the overshift on the pull defense for Ryan. Michael Bourne pretty much straight away in center.
The formula last night for Tommy Hanson was basically that.
Slow
curveball, slider.
Oh, did he throw a lot of slow stuff last night? And You know, he just didn't. He used his fastball just to use his fastball, but his out pitches were his off-speed stuff. He ate him alive with it, like that guy is doing with that candy, with that cotton candy.
Howard fouls back a changeup, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, and all of a sudden McCann's starting to call a lot more slow stuff with his pitcher after he got hurt on a fastball. I think McCann's saying, all right, we worked last night, let's go back to it.
Two balls, 2 strikes, the count to Howard. It's it on the ground to the right side, and Simmons, the shortstop, throws out Ryan. So a 1-2-3 third inning. 5 in a row retired by Jair Jurgens. We go to the 4th. Phillies up 2-0. Conditions from who but W.B. Mason. There's Jason Priddy out in center field. He's the reason the Phils are up 2-0 as we hit the top of the 4th inning. Another jam-packed day here at the ballpark. Phillies wind down this first half. Vance Worley will face Jason Hayward, Brian McCann, and Freddie Freeman. Well, Sarge, you ventured back over from radio. How did it go last night?
I thought it went pretty good there. A lot of fans were listening, including Larry Anderson and a couple of our other friends there. I think they enjoyed the broadcast as well.
I don't know if everybody heard last night, but, you know, Sarge a couple nights ago had trouble with your headsets here. They were broken, correct?
Not well, the ones, here were broken.
Last night he had some issues with the headsets again. Now, they weren't the same headsets.
No, they weren't the same. They were a little bit large.
Yeah,
and
the mic was up here, it was down here, it was over here.
Well, it's a little loose because of Larry's head is a lot bigger than mine.
There is truth to that.
Well, we got it together there.
But here, now that we're back here on TV, Sarge can rely on Joe Kennedy, Gus, to make sure that the headsets fit fine.
Fine, and early runs always helps.
Early runs do help. Although there were early runs last night, too, and we were feeling pretty good about it then.
Got to add on, definitely, and you're right about that.
Jason Hayward walked his first time up. It's 1 ball and no strikes. And it's 1-1 now to Hayward. Worley's location has been better these last couple of innings. He walked 2 in the first. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Way upstairs, 2-1.
They've had a lot of success pitching inside on his hands. And then if you go away down and away, maybe soft. They've been tying him up, though, and hasn't been able to get those arms extended.
They always talk about Ryan Howard being too far away from the plate. I don't think there's a guy in baseball that's as far away as Hayward is.
He's off that plate, but keep in mind, they're still going to throw that ball inside, but where he's standing, that inside pitch almost looks as if it's down the middle. There's an inside pitch. I mean, from that position, it doesn't appear that he would be able to hit the outside part of the plate there if a ball is thrown.
Two-seamer hits it first. Nice hop for Howard. Hayward's going to test that Achilles. He said, all right, Ryan, let's race to the bag. And then Ryan wins the race. 1 out. And Brian McCann is coming up.
See Howard, how he picks it and just kind of hops along right on over there. A little quicker hop. He gets him out.
He was moving pretty good when he came in today. You know, he says he has that gait, that little bit of a limp. It's not really noticeable when you see him just walking around. It will get better, though, as the year moves on. And he thinks by spring training of next year that he'll be 100%. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to McCann, who grounded into a double play his first time up. Off speed pitch, 1-1.
Now this McCann, he's more of a guy that should be able to hit you 280 and above. I mean, has that kind of a stroke. But again, you go into certain slumps, you get tested, just like everyone else does.
Fly ball, shallow right field. Utley's backpedaling. He's yelling as loud as he can to make sure that Hunter Pence knows that he has it. 2 outs for Freddie Freeman. It's the ultimate water cooler show that gives you all the latest trends, weather, traffic, and offbeat news to start your day in a good way. Tomorrow morning from 6 until 8, catch Eye Opener, a different kind of morning show right here on PHL 17.
Well, Worley just had a great pitch on McCann, getting that fastball or cutter in on his hands. And when he's doing that, just impossible to get those hands through. Good pitching. Rather make sure it's all the way in as opposed to leaving it out over the plate.
A 1 pitch. Line drive, base hit to left field. Pierre is going to try to cut it off. It's going to go toward the corner. Freeman is on his way to second, and he'll get there easily with the first extra base hit of the afternoon for the Braves. A 2-out double. 17th of the year.
And strong inside out swing. See how the ball starts to slice toward that line there. Almost that automatic double once it starts to slice. Juan Pierre's not going to be able to get that ball and throw him out at second.
Uggla takes strike 1. It's 0-1. Uggla popped out to first his first time up. Ooh, not a bad pitch. Almost looked like a cutter that started in and didn't get enough of the plate, but it was a good spot.
Yeah, he wants that ball in and doesn't want it to tail back. So those are the pitches that he struggled with in his last game. Not able to hit that inside corner when he wanted or the out. Those, though, are close enough to have been called. Just didn't get it.
Center field, that ball's hit well. Pridey on the run, and that's over his head and over the wall and hits the back wall to tie the ball game up at 2. Ninth home run allowed by Worley. 2 outs, nobody on, turns into a double and a home run and a 2-2 ball game.
Now, this seems to be a problem after they get 2 strikes. I would have to guess that ball would be almost right or down the middle or something coming back. Take a look at it, and again, it's a little breaking ball. This kind of spinning. He gets the head down on it, and let me tell you, that ball went a long, long way. If it hits that backdrop where the ivy is, kind of tore some off that backdrop.
Next pitch to Simmons is hit back through the middle of base hit. So 3 straight hits. And Simmons trying to go for second. Pridey was lackadaisical with his throw in, and Simmons made him pay.
Wow.
They thought he had stopped at first, and Pridey just looped it into Rollins. And Simmons just kept on going.
Well, obviously not paying attention in yesterday's ball game or last night. This kid did the same thing, hustling right out of the box. Check it out, Willie Mays like, as he kind of lulls him to sleep. And yep, he is there. Pretty good tag, however, though, by Utley. Now you can see this lackadaisical throw as he just throws it in there, and that's just something that just shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen at all.
Well, they scored it a double. And you're right, Sarge, he did that last night. There was a time last night where he took a wide turn around first, and it looked like he was thinking about going for 2. But Juan Pierre quickly got the throw in from left field.
Well, this is kind of almost right in your face when that happens there. You know, you take things for granted here in the major leagues, and it'll come up and bite you all the time. That's when you really look bad, not being able to get that ball in. And you know what? Just not talking about one player. This has been almost a collective effort, if you will, with guys really not being able to pay attention and know what you need to do when you're on defense. And I tell you, he'd be the first to tell you, no way that should have ever happened. You get that ball up, you get it into second base as quick as you can, don't have to worry about it.
Well, now Worley up to 66 pitches. With 2 outs here in the 4th, 2 runners on, and Jair Jurgens is up. And Jurgens hits it the opposite way on the ground for Howard. This will be an easy play. The inning is over. So no extra damage except for some extra pitches from Vance Worley. He allows the 2-run home run to tie it on to the bottom of the 4th. It's a 2-2 game. Cobb, your local dealer today. Buy Bud Light Lime. Summer is calling. And buy Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. Last of the 4th, it's a 2-2 game. Phillies with a 2-run home run from Jason Pridey. And the Braves with a 2-run home run from Dan Uggla against Vance Worley. That ended an 0-for-19 slump for Uggla. That home run did. First home run for Uggla since the 9th of June. So it's been nearly a month since his last home run.
Well,
Would that kill you, Sarge, if he went that long without a home run?
I mean, heck, it has. I mean, for me, throughout my career, the one thing I'm puzzled about, though, is you get guys that, again, have been in slumps, haven't been able to hit, but when they come here, they seem to either find their stroke or do some damage. And obviously, seeing Ugla there, even when he's with the Florida Marlins, this guy's got power and power to burn.
Carlos Ruiz will lead it off here in the bottom of the fourth. Ruiz singled his first time up, 1 for 1. His average at .350. Came in 5th in the league in hitting. And it's 0-1. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, you see how Carlos takes the pitches, and especially pitches that are inside, not even really budging at all, looking for a ball usually in a certain spot. It's been just awful smart these days.
Fly ball, center field. Bourne got turned around a little bit, but he's there. And a step or two from the track makes the catch. That'll bring Hunter Pence to the plate. Phillies will face the San Francisco Giants here at Citizens Bank Park. The only time this year during the regular season. On Friday, July 20th at 7:05. Saturday, July 21st. That game is already sold out. Sunday the 22nd, all fans 14 and under will receive the Pico Roy Halladay Fathead Jr. Tickets are available now by going to Phillies.com. Penn struck out his first time up.
Talking with Dale Murphy today and kind of reminding him when we were actually playing together, just how good of a player he really was. And he thought that his last maybe 5 years or so kind of cost him votes from getting into the Hall of Fame, because he said he was really hurt, legs were hurt, and admitted, and even coming here, just did not play the way that he was capable of being able to play.
3-0 the count. Well, Dale's in town doing radio for the Atlanta Braves. He's subbing for Don Sutton, who normally does the radio for the Braves along with Jim Powell.
He's actually down in the clubhouse there visiting Frank Kopenbacher, traveling secretary.
Pence walks on 4 pitches. And that'll bring Jason Friday to the plate. Speaking of Friday, it's time for a Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
Well, good stroke there. That's a high fastball. He actually picked up on and hits that ball right out of here. Early lead right there. It's a Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
Let's see if he can do it again, or at least get a hit here to put an inning together for the Phils. Tied at 2 here in the bottom of the fourth. Strike one. It's 0-1. Dale Murphy finished with 398 home runs. You think if he had gotten 400, 450, that the Hall of Fame would have been a different story for a two-time MVP?
Well, you're right. Just a two-time MVP. That was back in '82 and '83. I mean, he may have, but anyone else would be in the Hall of Fame. Although Roger Maris was back-to-back, hitting,
but not 400 home runs.
Not 400 home runs. Back-to-back MVP awards. I mean, that tells you how dominant you are right there. Well, the average maybe might hurt a little, but Reggie Jackson didn't have a high average, although he did have the 500 home runs. I still think you got to look into RBIs, and average doesn't always tell the story. Neither does the home runs, to be quite frank.
0-1 the count to Friday. That's 1 ball and 1 strike. Dale Murphy was a good teammate, though, wasn't he?
Great teammate. Was a catcher at the very beginning. Found out he couldn't catch right away.
Couldn't throw either.
Well, he had a really good arm. Remember, back there, too, in right field, he had a great arm. Hello.
Friday sends one to right center field. It's going to stay in the yard. It's going to one-hop the scoreboard. Pence is around third. He's going to score. Uggla's throw goes to third. It's a 3-2 ball game as Friday has all 3 RBIs.
Well, that's how you make it up with miscues there when you're in the outfield. I definitely know a little bit about that. You make a blunder there, middle air, come back, give your team a lead, hitting against the front foot again. Just a nice stroke as he drops down on the ball. Got to make him feel good as he splits the gap there. By then, Hunter Pence all the way around, and guess what? Samuel out of the way and over to the right-hand side of it.
Yeah, yesterday, Hunter Pence and Juan Samuel collided. That time, Samuel was up near the coach's box and not down the line because Friday was already safe and secure at second. Mike Fontenot takes a strike. It's 0-1. Sammy, well, let's just say he wasn't too pleased about what happened last night when he collided with Hunter Pence. He figured Pence was going to score easily. He was worried about the other one. So he was trying to direct traffic.
Yeah.
So that's why he wanted to be close enough to the line to direct traffic. And he looked up, and all of a sudden, bam, there comes a locomotive.
Yeah, and Hunter had said that after he hit that bag there, he had his head down, and actually he was just going too fast in order to try and deviate and not collide with him. So, next best thing, you just
Run him over.
got to go right over him. Don't think that'll happen again, especially on Samuel's part. He's going to definitely keep his eye on him.
1-2 the count to Fontenot. Fontenot hits it in the air to right field. Hayward makes the catch. Pridey's going to tag. Here comes Hayward's throw. Not in time. That's a good job.
Take a look at this last night as he runs right into Samuel. See how he just kept going. No way he could have cut on the inside to avoid him.
Eventually, Sammy smiled. Charlie made him laugh finally.
Yeah, I asked him, was he okay today early on when I went down there? And he said, might want to go ask Vince if he okay. And I'm in pretty good shape.
He is in good shape.
Oh, he is.
Sarge, this man at the plate is absolutely positively piping hot due. 0 for 20.
He's a better hitter than that. You're right. Much better hitter. Hard to hit, though, and your left foot's going the other way. Got to have that shoulder going right back toward the pitcher. Start to bail, very difficult to get the big part of the bat on the ball.
Swing and a miss, and he leaves one over at third. But the Phillies take the lead on the RBI double by Friday. We move to the 5th here in Philadelphia. Catch the original Charlie episodes of 2.5 Men at 6 and 6:30, followed by Phillies' #1 comedy, The Big Bang Theory, at 7 and 7:30, right here on PHL 17. 3-2 Phillies on top here at the top of the 5th inning. Let's check in with Greg Murphy with our Major League Notebook. Murph?
All right, thank you very much, T-Mac. Brought to you by the good folks at Gwinnett Mercy College. Giancarlo Stanton is out of the National League Home Run Derby. He's going to be replaced by Pittsburgh center fielder Andrew McCutchen, and he'll join Carlos Beltran and Carlos Gonzalez trying to hit some home runs for the National League during All-Star Weekend. And also, guys, remember San Diego pitcher Micah Owings? He has been hurt on the disabled list. Well, he's trying to make a comeback, but not on the pitcher's mound. Instead, he's going to play a little infield, a little outfield, and try to come back as a position player. He's a career .268 hitter with 19 home runs, so he can swing the bat a little bit, and he's hoping to do that.
He was a heck of a hitter in college, too, Murph. In fact, every team he's been on, from the Diamondbacks to the Reds, they've used him as a pinch hitter.
Yep.
In fact, he was one of the more prolific high school home run hitters in the history of the game. What do you think, Sarge? Could he do it?
Well, I think the way the hitting is going right now, he has a doggone good chance to try and be able to hit. I'll tell you the truth.
Michael Board is 1 for 2, and he takes outside, 2 balls and no strikes. I'm just surprised because I know he's been banged up, and maybe it's the forearm strain. What do you think, Murph? You think it's the forearm strain that's caused him to give up on the pitching? Just figured, you know what the heck, I might as well try to hit.
Yeah, it is that, and you know he knows he's not. He wants to come back and pitch at some point, he has said, but knows he's not going to be able to do it anytime soon, and so he wants to get back out on the field. Figures he can help a major league team in that regard, so he's going to go out and see if he can play the field. He could be a DH at some point as well in his career, so he's going to work on his hitting and see if he can come back. But he does want to pitch at some point if and when he can get that arm healthy.
All right, appreciate that, Murph. Here's the 2-1 to Board, inside, 3-1.
Well, interesting enough, though, there have been players that have done that. There have been players that really could not hit and then end up going on the mound. Carlos Momoralo with the Cubs, one of the guys that have done that. He was a catcher in the beginning.
Ball's hit hard. What a play by Ryan Howard. Can he get to the bag? He does! Who can slide to the bag first? Ryan Howard or Michael Board? It was Ryan Howard.
Wow.
One out here in the 5th.
What a play. Well, it just helps to be that tall. Get a chance to really be able to stretch out. This is great reactions, even though you're seeing it in slow-mo. What a great shot, as he has the mind to actually get up and run to the bag. He was going to toss it in the very beginning. Worley kind of looking, and as you see him getting there late as he slides, what a great shot. Just in the nick of time. Actually got him by plenty. Take another look as he comes in and tells you how much he got him by. It's a good pitcher, good slide. Welcome back, Ryan Howard.
I think Chase Utley came in and tried to knock some clay out of his spikes just to kind of give Ryan Howard a few extra moments. Carlos Ruiz came out as well. And now Martin Prado will settle in. Prado's 0 for 1. He walked in the first. And he takes upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes.
Now, when you think of the Atlanta Braves, can't help but to think of Hank Aaron, who's still obviously one of the best home run hitters of all time. With all those home runs that he hit, he only had 1 inside the park home run.
It's not easy to do, Sarge.
No, well, he was used to trotting all the time, but believe it or not, he hit that home run off of Jim Bunning.
The inside of Parker?
Sure did. May 10th, 1967.
What ballpark does it say? 1-2 the count to Prado.
Didn't say, but you know, I was trying to really think. Now, what ballpark could he hit where it might ricochet all the way around the ballpark?
You think it needed to do that for him to do it?
Well, back in the day, though, he was pretty. He stole a few bases. Got a little bit older. Decided not to run as much, but he said he always would steal when they needed to have a stolen base.
That was softly over the mound. Utley tried to bare him. Thought that would be the only play. It probably was. And it'll be a base hit for Martin Prado.
Yeah, that's a hard ball to bare hand. Almost seemed to be going a little bit too hard. But those are the plays I'm talking about. It's either a hit or just a great play. That's a do or die play where he's coming in and he only felt he had one chance, and that was to bare hand the ball to get it there.
Hayward loops it to right. That'll be a hit. Prado's thinking about third. He's on his way. Pence's throw is not in time. Not much you can do about that. It was hitting the perfect spot to move the runner over to third.
Yeah, Hayward almost anticipating that ball inside. He actually turned on it quick, didn't hit the ball hard, had great placement, cleared his hips. And there you go. Take a look at it as he gets through there. Now that's quick. That's a shorter swing to the ball as opposed to that longer swing. By then, Prado able to go first to third.
Brian McCann today is 0 for 2. He's hit it to a double play. Phillies will take that again here in the top of the fifth. He's got Prado over third, Hayward at first. The first pitch a little outside, 1-0.
Well, he'll take a strikeout. He'll take a pop up. Preferably, though, a ground ball, like you said. McCann, not a very fast runner, so you can almost take your time if they can been able to get it on the ground. 4.63 will work. 6.43 will work.
Outside, 2-0. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. Washington has taken a 2-1 lead over Colorado. Colorado was on top 1-0 for the first few innings of that ball game, but the Nats got 2 hits from Adam LaRoche, a double, a run scored. They lead it 2-1. They lead the Phils by 14 games in the East. Fly ball to center field, and it's going to drop in front of Pridey. Prado held, but he's going to score. It'll be an RBI single. It's a 3-3 game. That ball was knuckling out there. And it's the 45th RBI of the season for McCann, his 4th hit of this series. And Rich Doobie's going out to talk to Vance Worley.
Oh, no chance at all for Pridey to catch that ball.
So a conversation with Worley. He's thrown 80 pitches. The Braves had gotten their bullpen up at one point. Mike Minor, one of their starters, who's in the bullpen right now because this is the last day before the All-Star break. He was up throwing. Phillies don't have anything going on right now, at least for the moment. And Freddie Freeman will be the hitter. Freeman has doubled and scored. He's grounded out to third. He's just missing on the outer edge again. This is what he was doing the first inning.
He needs this controlled damage here. He's thrown balls inside to Freeman, and he's been inside outing those balls, kind of keeping them on the line, not elevating them. It's a ground ball right now if you can.
Fly ball left field. Pierre is there. Boy, that ball really floated. With 2 away, Hayward goes back to second, McCann back to first.
Well, it's a good pitch, though. I mean, even though he hit that ball pretty good, because it's down, you get less damage. Take a look at Utler there. That ball up a little bit more. Full extension. Straight away center field. You can't hit the ball any better than that.
Won the count to Ugla. Ugla homered his last time up, straightaway center field. It broke it 0 for 19.
Going back over the signs again. Every time you see a pitcher look in, he'll do it with his glove, and meaning, hey, give me those set of signs again.
Good pitch. Cut in the inside part of the plate. It's 0-2. Jack Wilson's out of the on-deck circle for Simmons. Simmons may have hurt his hand on the double in his last at-bat. 0-2 the count to Ugla. Simmons going in. I thought he got hit in the face by the tag from Chase Utley. And you see the slide. His hand jams in. That's his throwing hand also.
Yeah, just really keeping your hand on that bag with all that momentum and sliding by. If he was okay, he definitely wouldn't be pinch hit for in this situation.
Jeff Porter, who is the Braves athletic trainer, is checking on him right now on the dugout. 1-2 the count to Ugla. Ground ball foul. And it remains 1-2. Well, they try to get through this 5th inning.
Yep, don't want to give in to him.
2-2.
Well, most hitters these days don't like the ball inside. They like that ball middle and away. Pitchers will command the ball away a lot more than they will on the inside part of the plate.
Talk about a defensive swing. I think that ball started cutting back, and he thought, uh-oh, I better go after it.
Carlos had asked for an inside fastball again, and Vance did not want to throw that pitch. Then he gave him the breaking ball. He didn't want that one either. So Carlos says, let me go out and see exactly what he wants to do. Yeah, I like that pitch that's on the inside where maybe you have a chance to break his bat. You can go slider away, but you want to make sure that you don't hang that ball up.
Tried to check, and he did. No appeal. It's 3-2, so the runners will be off. Top of the 5th. It's a 3-3 game. Jason Pridey has driven in all 3 runs for the Phillies, and Ugla and McCann have driven in the 3 for the Braves. Ugla's up again here in the 5th. Curveball upstairs, ball 4, and the bases are now loaded. Well, they'll have to deal with Jack Wilson. It's
Nope.
not the worst thing in the world.
Well, I think they're going to switch that and use Hinsky.
Oh, yeah, Hinsky's coming out. Charlie Manuel is going to get some bullpen action going. Hinsky will pinch hit for Simmons, and then Wilson will come in to play shortstop. Freddie Gonzalez is thinking.
Well, that's a smart move, though. I mean, you end up putting Wilson up there in the beginning, and sure everybody's thinking, well, Wilson straight up there for Simmons. So what he does is he uses a better hitter in his estimation, and certainly one from the left side. And Hinsky, nobody warming up in the Phillies bullpen, although right now Valdez has gotten up. But certainly not enough time in order, you would think, to come in to pitch to Hinsky.
Hayward's over at third, McCann's at second, and Uggla's around at first. First pitch down low, 1-0. The walk, by the way, by Worley is fourth of the day. Four walks ties a career high.
Reach back on that one. Pretty good movement. Great place where he had that ball down near the knee area.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Two-seamer called. Strike 3. Came right on back over the black. Hinsky doesn't think so, but that's his strikeout pitch, and he got a big one right here in the 5th inning. The Braves did tie it up on the base hit by McCann, but then with the bases loaded, Worley delivers. A called strike 3 that takes us to the bottom of the 5th. Monday, July 23rd at 7:05. It's a 3-game series. It wraps up on the 25th, which is a Citizens Bank Business Person Special, and a Model Sporting Goods Kids Run the Bases following the game. Brewers are led by the MVP, the reigning MVP, Ryan Braun. I think I saw something the other day, Sarge, where Matt Kemp said he finally came out and said that he thought he did deserve the MVP award last year. Ryan Braun won it. Obviously, a lot of stuff happened in the offseason for Braun. As you see Jack Wilson take over at shortstop as was suspected. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's a 3-3 ball game.
It's always pretty close. I mean, you would have to think, too, both players are deserving.
Rollins takes a strike. It's 0-1.
And it's no secret. It's a team that usually wins their particular division that player will get the nod. It's been happening that way for years.
Rollins out front. Another pop-up. Freddie Freeman, the first baseman, makes the catch. But Jimmy's swing is just not where it was in June.
It's been up and down, to say the least.
Pierre is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Sarge, to you, biggest thing the Phillies have to do when they get back on Friday, baseball-wise?
I mean, collectively, just as a team, to play the game for the 3 hours or whatever that you're out there, and whatever you possibly can to be able to try and make the team win there. That ball gets down.
Oh, what a play by Jason Hayward. I didn't think he'd get there. And he did, and he pulls it right off the top of the grass for the second out.
Well, one of the things, like you were saying, that ball has a tendency to just float up there. And I'm telling you, Hayward covering, a lot of ground to go over there on the side, and the dive sprawled out. Take a look at him. Thought that ball was getting ready to go in, and he holds it up. Jurgens there, as he says, oh boy, way to go, because that ball there, if it's in,
it's
could be a triple with no problem there. That's just almost saving yourself a run, but certainly what a great play.
Well, 2 outs, and here's Utley. But finish your thoughts, Sarge.
Besides that, too, I was going to say, and pitching, you got to collectively have everything going together. Got to pitch well, and pitching well means you got to have good defense. And talking with Dave Cash the other day, he said, hey, you can have all the defense you want. You got to have somebody to knock in some runs. And he's right about it.
Utley takes it to the knees. It's 0-1.
But over the last few years, though, let's face it, they've had that same kind of formula where they've had the defense, timely hitting, guys hitting the ball out of the ballpark, and gold glove play at the different positions.
The thing that's disheartening is the Phillies were 28-25 at one moment. 28-25 with all the injuries. They had kept their head above water, as Charlie likes to say. And then since that time, they're 9-24.
Well, errors have a lot to do with that. And we're not even talking about physical errors. Talking about some of the mental errors.
2-1 the count to Utley.
That has cost them ball games here.
Well, you could say play a clean game or do things the right way, but you have to do it.
Well, I mean, again, we can get somebody in the stands that can go out and try. This is a different level on major leaguers out here. They should be able to do this on a daily basis. I mean, that's just plain and simple.
Utley lifts it to left. Prado over toward the line, and he makes the catch. 1-2-3 inning, partly because Jason Hayward just made the play of the game out in right field. This saved Jair Jurgens from working with 1 out and a runner at third. We go to the 6th. half of the season, Carlos Ruiz is going to his first Midsummer Classic. Chooch's work behind the plate has been solid as usual, and his work at the plate this season has been equaled by few. Cole Hamels is on his way to his second straight and third overall All-Star appearance. The left-hander has been one of the best starters in baseball for the first 3 months. Heading to his 5th All-Star game, but first in the National League, is Jonathan Papelbon, who closed the door on his first 17 save opportunities for his new team. The trio being selected to Kansas City is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way. There's Jonathan Papelbon heading out to the bullpen in between innings. This is normally the time of the day that he goes out, and it's a 3-3 ball game. Pap, last night you and I were doing radio when somebody decided to try to get into the bullpen. A fan had jumped out onto the stands and to try to get into the bullpen, and Papelbon came over. He said, I just reacted. He came over and put him in what he liked to call a sleeper hold and held him for security.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I saw that, well, the fan didn't get a chance to get over it, but not a good place to be.
No,
on the field and running out there for sure.
We were over talking to him today and just asked him, what were you concerned about it? He said, well, I just didn't want him to get in the bullpen. He goes, I didn't know what he was going to do. I just didn't want him to come in the bullpen. And I guess it's happened before when Papelbon's been out there at Fenway. Because, those bullpens are right in the crowd.
Yeah.
And then Shane Victorino came over and helped subdue the fan while security came over. Juan Francisco fouls the 1-0 back. It's 1-1.
What kind of hold did he have?
I think he was just holding him. I don't think there was any name to it. I think it was just I'm holding him.
Okay.
Because one was on one side of the fence, the other was on the other side of the fence. I said, did the guy say anything to you? He said, nope.
Wasn't much he was going to be able to say.
1-2 the count.
The fans have been doing a great job in catching some of the ricochets that ball's been hit into the stands.
Swing and a miss. One away here in the 6th. 4 strikeouts now for Worley. 4-4. 4 strikeouts, 4 walks.
Took some off of this as that ball actually kind of goes away. That's after a ball that was on the inside. Set him up pretty good. That's what we talk about. Each pitch should set up your next pitch.
Jurgens takes a strike here at the top of the 6th. He's 0 for 2. And a called strike 3 at the knees. 5 strikeouts for Vance Worley. Back to the top of the order. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Ford with 16 vehicles that get 30+ MPG. Go further. Visit your Quality Plus Ford store today. By McDonald's. Now at McDonald's, any size soft drink or sweet tea is just $1. And by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Michael Bourne has a hit in 3 at-bats today.
He's well on his way to score 100 runs plus. That's what you want that leadoff hitter to do. Steal bases, be able to score 100 runs.
He's also hit with some pop this year. Pridey and Pence out into the alleyway, and it's Pridey who makes the catch. A step onto the track, and it's a 1-2-3 6th inning for Vance Worley. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Ryan Howard will lead it off for the Phils, then Carlos Ruiz and Hunter Pence. Game tied at 3. Carlos Ruiz and Hunter Pence. Rich Doobie and Vance Worley having a conversation in the dugout. Vance might be done. We'll see if they push him for another inning or so. Although his pitch count was a little bit better with his work in the top of the 6th inning. Nobody's loosening up just yet. Still has the gum in his mouth, working it pretty good. You know, they need Vance once the second half rolls around on Friday because of the way the rotation is structured right now. Eventually, Kyle Kendrick will go back in the bullpen, but they need a solid second half from Vance Worley.
Oh, not just from Vance, though. I think you can put Cliff Lee in that particular category. You got to get some consistency with your pitching staff. Therefore, especially on the starters, you know when you go out there that you definitely have a chance.
There's Kyle. As Ryan Howard will lead it off. And Howard is swinging a miss against Jurgen's first breaking pitch. The rotation is set up for the first 3 games in Denver. Cliff Lee on Friday night, Vance Worley on Saturday, and then Cole Hamels on Sunday before the Phillies hit the road again and go to Los Angeles. 0-1 pitch to Howard. 1 ball, 1 strike. Howard's 0 for 2. Struck out looking, grounded out.
Well, that'll be the test for him to be able to consistently hit the off-speed pitches. A little easier on the pitches that are straight, the fastballs. Good swing.
'77th pitch of the day for Jurgens. Laid on a fastball, 90 miles an hour. I think that might be the second fastball he's seen in the last 2 at-bats.
Yeah, he hasn't been throwing a lot of them. He's gone to the off-speed type pitches, change-ups, curveball. Then he takes a little bit off of the slider, just trying to keep the hitters off balance. He knows you can't throw that ball by people consistently.
They tried another breaking pitch, and Howard fouls it away. Folks asked about Howard starting with the Phillies this weekend and then having 4 days off. Would it be better for him to keep on rehabbing at some point, whether it be down in Clearwater? And Ruben Amaro said the other day, he goes, well, I think after playing a couple of days this weekend, he might need a couple of days off. Cracks that one to the right side, and Freddie Freeman guides it over to Jair Jurgens.
Yeah, I think that call depends on Ryan. I mean, heck, if he feels that he needs to be able to hit more to keep things going, he can always decide to go down and clear water and do just that. Now, I, for one, think he's lost a lot of valuable time, and he's going to need to be able to keep the stroke up for me. But, again, it's a different ball game these days, and everybody kind of decides themselves on what it takes for them to get in game shape.
I think he's a little upset with himself that he didn't get anything out of that at bat.
Well, he's one of those guys too. I mean, when you've done what he's done over the years, you expect to be able to come back and be in that same type of form.
One ball, no strikes, the count to Ruiz. Now it's 2-0.
One of my ex-teammates, Willie McCovey, in '69, in the All-Star game, hit 2 home runs. And the last guy to hit it was, you would know who that was, right?
2 home runs in an All-Star game. Last guy to do it. Has rocketed foul past Samuel. It's 2-1. Did Gary Carter do it?
Boy, I'm telling you, unbelievable. I wouldn't think that you would have done that or guessed that in 100 years.
Cleveland?
Yeah. Back in '81, Gary Carter hit 2 home runs.
He was wearing white shoes that night.
Were you at the game?
I was not. I was 13. I couldn't drive.
I got to tell you, that bell sounds great.
Yeah.
When Wills is on here, I never hear the bell. I always hear some other noise. Yeah, boy, that's the noise that I hear. Oh, boy. I guess you got to really answer those, answer them right.
Wheels, did you hear that? I got that right. 1981, Gary Carter hit 2 home runs in an All-Star game. Wheels is here in the booth as Ruiz singles to left, his second hit of the day.
Boy, I got to tell you, this guy is he has just been so impressive. I mean, all year long, great to see. Even when he's not getting hits, he still continues to hit the ball hard. Great setup that he has. Look how short he is. And again, remember, he had a high leg kick. Not even using that leg kick, barely picking it up and putting it down. And what that does to you, your eye level's not going up and down. Consequently, take a look at that. 25th time he's had 2 hits in a game. That's doing a job.
I haven't asked him. I don't know if you have. You know, who told him to get rid of the leg kick?
I think he did that.
Yeah,
experimenting with it.
Yeah.
You know, that came upon him. But in spring training, he had a very high leg kick in the year before. And he's gotten rid of it. He's made him a much, much better hitter.
Well, he's aboard. Chris Medled's throwing in the pen. Hunter Pence is up. Pence is 0 for 1. He walked and scored his last time up. 3-3 game here in the 6th. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to Pence. The outfield is straight away. Ground ball toward the hole. Francisco will cut it off. 1, 2. 5-4-3 around the horn. Double play. And the inning is over. So we've completed 6. We move to the 7th inning. It's the Braves 3 and the Phillies 3.
Well, good ball game here today, tied at 3. Final game before the All-Star break. Dan Uggla, well, it was a matter of time. Hard to believe he could go through this weekend without a homer in this ballpark, and he finally hit one. And he hadn't hit one for a long time. Tied the game at that point. Jurgens threw 6. Jason Friday, Shane Victorino a late scratch today, and he's had a big game. He's knocked in all 3 runs for the Phillies. Vance Worley will be finished after 6 innings, and they're going to turn it over to Raul Valdez here in the 7th inning after Worley pitches 6 innings, 3 runs.
So Valdez in his 16th ball game, 2-1, a 3.48 earned run average. One of those 16 a start. He'll face Martin Prado, Jason Hayward, Brian McCann. Prado's 1 for 2 today. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Phillies also have Michael Schwimmer up in the bullpen. Little pop up towards second. Easy play for Chase for the first out.
Well, you have these left-handed hitters coming up in this inning now. Hayward, McCann, Freeman, and that's why Valdez is in the game. Plus, kind of an all-hands-on-deck game too.
These lucky fans are today's Citizen 7. They were interested with prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com.
The Schwimmer, as Tom mentioned, is up, and he's up for Ugly. He gets to that point in this inning.
Hayward takes outside. Hayward is walked today. He's 1 for 2. Walks were part of the issue for Vance. He walked 4, which tied his career high.
We talked about at the beginning of the game that he has a lot of games where he goes 6 innings. He's over 100 pitches at that point. Now, I don't know that that's the reason they took him in. I think it's more because you have all these left-handed hitters up in this inning in a tie game, and you have a lot of pitchers available today. And it's not like you're going to drain your bullpen, you know, unless you play 17 innings or something, heaven forbid.
We mentioned before that Cliff Lee threw a bullpen today, earlier today, so he's most likely not available. Swing and a miss. It's 2-1. Toyota Major League Scoreboard down in Washington. Good news, good news. Nope. Washington leads at 3-2 over Colorado. That's in the top of the 8th. They just keep on chugging along.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're playing very, very good baseball, and they've been the best team in the division for quite some time now. Phillies are at the point right now they have to think about being a 500 team and then go from there, because they're 11 games under 500, let alone think about first place and the playoffs and all that. They have to start to play better baseball and get to the 500 mark and then move. And it's just being realistic, I think.
Sounded like Jim Mora there for a second. Playoffs.
He's the guy that said playoffs, right?
No, you didn't say it that way.
Who's the guy that said practice? That was Iverson. That was Iverson. Yeah, right. Trying to keep up on stuff, but you know.
Playoffs.
Yeah, that was a beer commercial.
Well, it was live first.
Yeah, and then they used it over and over and over.
That's why you have to be careful what you say at press conferences, Wheels. It can go back 10 years from now, and they can make a commercial out of it.
No, not nowadays. You don't have to be careful what you say, do you? There's not many things to record things. or to get it out within about 5 seconds after you say it.
Brian McCann takes a strike. It's 0-1.
What a world.
McCann has an RBI single. 7 RBIs this series. 1 ball, 1 strike to count.
Valdez has done a sneaky good job this year whenever they've called on him, except for that start. He wasn't too good in that start.
Gave up the 3-run home run to Michael McHenry.
Well, but when they've used him, you know, some left-handed hitters, some other things, he's hung in there and really done a good job for him.
Center field, that is well hit. Friday on the run, and McCann has homered again.
Well, he did a good job up till then. That's amazing what he can do in this ballpark.
He's homered in all 3 games. He has 2 RBIs today. It's 4-3 Atlanta. He's homered in the last 4 games overall.
They bring Valdez in to pitch to these left-handed hitters. He's done a good job this year, and this ball looks like it's right down the middle. Oh, is it ever? Maybe even a little bit middle in. And McCann and Ugla go out to dead center in their favorite road yard.
Freddie Freeman takes on the inside corner. Brian McCann now with 13 home runs, 46 runs batted in. And Freeman is aboard with a base hit to left center. Friday will cut it off. Freeman will hold up at first.
Friday was a little slow going after a ball earlier today, and Simmons took the extra base, then he hurt himself. There's Brian McCann. You gave the numbers early on what he's done here. What's that, 11 now?
11 home runs. He's hit over 360 here in this ballpark. The Stars aligned for the 2012 Major League Baseball All-Star Game as the best of the American League take on the National League's top players. Don't miss the action on Tuesday, July 10th at 7:30 Eastern and 4:30 Pacific.
We mentioned Schwimmer's up for Ugla, and unfortunately they got to that point.
Charlie Manuel heading out to the mound. He's already signaled to the pen. So we have a pitching change. It's brought to you by AT&T. It's an AT&T call to the bullpen. Phillies down by 1 here at the top of the 7th inning in Philadelphia. The sellout today, 43,881. 248th consecutive regular season sellout. Michael Schwimmer is on 0-1 with a 3.66 earned run average. And he's into his 20th ball game. So the pickup for Valdez with Dan Ugla due up. And a runner over at first. Ugla's homer today. He hit a bomb to center just where McCann went. Actually, his is a little longer.
Yeah, and it was fast.
Oh, to the count. It's up into the Hall of Fame club and right on down to the Diamond Club. Oh, to the count. Little number up the first base line. Ruiz has it, flips. Tough play. And Ugla tripped over Ryan Howard's foot. I think everybody's okay. The putout goes 2-3. The Braves have taken the lead on a homer by McCann. Time to stretch here in Philly. Quiz answer. All right, Wheels, here's the question. 5 Phillies were named to the 1979 All-Star game in Seattle. Name the only Atlanta Brave to be named to the NL squad.
You know, I was going to have a little fun with this and pretend like I didn't know it and everything. But since Sarge threw down the gauntlet about all the bzzz that we never hear the bing,
yeah,
he was a Rookie of the Year.
Sarge is correct. How about that?
Not
Sarge,
the Rookie of the Year,
right.
but I mean he was the All-Star
representative.
I knew it.
Sarge is yelling at him right now.
Have a nice All-Star break, brother.
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stuff the Fence. We had this whole thing produced ready for Sarge to walk in, but he didn't get it right.
I was going to pretend like, you know, it's... Well, I was going to say Murph, you know. I knew it was Sarge.
Here's the thing. Christine Connors, who's our stage manager, went back to tell Sarge to commit.
Oh, is that right?
So she had to read him the question, and he didn't know the answer.
I'm shocked. He didn't know that he was the All-Star rep for the
he knew he went to the All-Star game, but I don't think he knew he was the only representative in 1979.
That's good. Well, if I'd have gotten that one wrong and he'd have been in the back of the booth.
We were so hoping you were going to get it wrong.
Of course you were. Well, I'm really sorry to disappoint you.
Yeah. Well, Jair Jurgens going to meander along here at the bottom of the 7th inning. Thought maybe he'd be lifted for a new pitcher, but they decided to let him get out there. So we got a Major League scoreboard. How about the Pirates?
Really?
First place in the National League Central. Whip it up on the Giants, 10-0. Now, you know, every website that covers baseball has a buzz about, you know, trade deadline deals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Last year, the Pirates went out and got a left fielder. They got Ryan Ludwig. It didn't work out. Now the names that the Pirates are searching for are larger.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, today it was Justin Upton from the Arizona Diamondbacks that might be available.
Watched some of their game yesterday, and there's really some energy in that ballpark right now, too.
Here's Jason Friday. He's provided all of the offense for the Phils today.
They're, 11 games over 500 now if they win today, and they have a good shot at it, 10-0.
Friday fouls the 1-0 off. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Phillies need a little come from behind win here. They're only down by a run with 9 outs to go. The Braves are unbelievable after the 7th inning with a lead. We are not after the 7th inning yet.
Friday out front, loops it to left center field. It's going to hang up there for Bourne. There's 1 out here in the 7th. And here comes Mike Fontenot. Ty Wigginton's come out of the on-deck circle to pitch hit. Jair Jurgens is not the same pitcher he was. We watched a lot of games with Jurgens on the mound, and he was very strong, very dominant, threw more fastballs or sinkers than anything. And today, I'm not saying he's a shell of himself because he's only 26, but his velocity isn't where it used to be, but he's still been able to keep the Phillies off balance.
Yeah, and McCann's done a great job of handling and making pitch just the way Hansen did yesterday, and saying, look, these guys don't hit off speed stuff very well, so throw it to them and make them hit it, and they have it.
One ball and 1 strike to Fontenot. He's 1 for 2.
You look at his use of his fastball today, he almost just spotted, just showing it once in a while, and then he throws slider and changeup for out pitches.
Well, I guess it's like any other pitcher. The key is to get the other ones over so he can do that.
We got to show it once in a while. I guess. I don't know. Sometimes when you watch certain pitchers pitch to the Phillies lineup, I don't know how much they have to show it.
There's Roger McDowell, the Braves pitching coach.
Talk about a sinker ball pitcher. Just one off-speed pitch after another. And he's commanded his slider and his changeup very well today. Friday he got him out on a slider. He may have hurt him with fastballs his first 2 times up.
Fontenot to center field. And Bourne makes this play again as he settles under it. 2 outs, another changeup. And here comes Ty Wigginton. Wigginton with 9 home runs and 35 runs batted in. And a strike to Wigginton. Looks like Jeremy Horst is going to come out and pitch the 8th inning. Over to third, Francisco takes the glove side hop. And an easy 7th inning for Jair Jurgens. So he throws 10 pitches. He's only at 96 through 7. We'll see what they do and the Phils do when we come back for the 8th. Chevy dealer, visit ChevyDealer.com. Buy Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And buy Nissan's National 10 event. For a limited time, get bonus cash on Altima and Road. Visit ChooseNissan.com or your local dealer today. Fanatics got some kind of dugout dance going today with guys wearing the Papelbon, Hamels, and Ruiz t-shirt jerseys as those 3 guys get ready to head off to Kansas City for the All-Star game. Jack Wilson will lead it off up for the first time.
It's a loss for them to have, for Simmons to have to leave the game as well as he's been playing.
Injured pinky.
Yeah, sliding head first in the second when he stretched a single into a double, and Friday looked like what he did. He kind of laid back on that.
He didn't lay back. He hesitated and then just looped the throw to Rollins, and Simmons just read it.
That's the point we were making about him earlier, that everybody on the Braves says about how he really knows how to play. So he recognized something there and made something happen.
Worst numbers through 4. Got the year at Lehigh Valley. Phillies acquired him in the offseason from the Reds. 0-2 the count to Jack Wilson.
He has to look up there and see what the Pirates are doing, just shake his head, because he was there during all those losing seasons.
They gave him a really big contract too.
He was an all-star in 2004 for the Buccos.
Ground ball to third. Fought no charges. Bobbled for a moment in time to get Wilson. Time now for our Coors Light Freeze Cam. Look back at the first half. That was one of the more exciting moments when Jim Thome hit that walk-off home run. Carlos Ruiz hanging on to that throw for Freddie Galvis to get Yadier Molina. There's always some dancing going on in the booth. Of course, the return of Chase Utley in the home run in his first at bat. That was that was one to remember. So was the reaction to the catch by Jonathan Papelbon. And the Fanatic, well, he'll do that from time to time. Wheels look cold in Chicago. And Murph got the kiss of the first half. There's a fly ball by Francisco. to left, and Pierre makes the catch. 2 outs. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Well, they'll turn it over to their bullpen now. And we mentioned how good they are from the 7th inning on, and that's where the point of it is. They don't have Venters anymore, but they're still getting the 8th inning covered. And right now they're going to start it with Chris Medlin, and then they have Kimbrel at the end.
Diaz takes low, 1-0. Diaz's numbers as a pinch hitter, reacquired last year by the Braves from the Pirates.
Another guy who's hit well in this park over the years. To right and right center especially.
Remember that year he was playing as a platoon out in the outfield. Had a very productive season for Atlanta. Came in great shape. And now he's settled back into being a role player. Pretty good bat though from the right side. His career numbers here at this ballpark: 309 with 5 home runs.
Yeah, another guy with a lot of homers here. Not quite like Ugla and McCann, but still pretty good. There you go. There are his numbers.
To right center field. Pence on the run. Will he get there? He does. Out to the track, puts it away. A 1-2-3 8th inning for Jeremy Horst. So the Braves go down in order on to the bottom of the 8th, and the top of the order is due to lead it off for the Phillies. Park on Friday, August 3rd. It's a 3-game series. The Sunday, August 5th game is still to be announced. They have not decided what the national game is for that day. You can get your tickets to all 3 of those ball games against the defending National League West champions, who, like the Phillies, are going to need a heck of a turnaround to defend that title in the second half. Top of the order, Chris Medlin will deal with Jimmy Rollins as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Eric O'Flaherty is not available today, according to the Braves.
Right, and this was a spot there as you look at the numbers at Medlin. You know, not that he can't get you out, but this is where you had to deal with Venters all last year and earlier this year, and O'Flaherty, who is also very difficult for the Phillies.
Rollins today is 0 for 3. He's 1 for 11 in the series. Colorado's tied it up down in Washington. That's good news. Bottom of the 8th inning. Mets have been shut out by the Cubs. St. Louis on top of Miami.
Big shocker. This guy comes in, goes change up curveball. That has really been a pattern that's developed in this series. That's the first fastball he's thrown. Here's looking Mike Fontenot on the bench playing third base today. Polanco available to hit, to pinch hit. Now here's where you normally would get a fastball and probably won't.
Fly ball down the left field line. Wilson into foul territory with Francisco, and they both called it. And Francisco makes the catch.
And he did get a fastball, and he was late on it. Jimmy today, just a very difficult day, as you see. That's an easier play for the shortstop. Francisco's taller, so he makes the play. But he has fouled out 3 times today. That is a really tough offensive day. You foul out 3 times.
Juan Pierre hitless at 3 at-bats.
Francisco really trying to take a bunt away from Pierre. Really need to get this game tied up because Kimbrel at the end has been almost untouchable this year.
Back toward the middle, knocked down by Medley. 2 outs. Phillies have Papelbon warming in the pen. The bench for the Phils, they've used Ty Wigginton. We don't know if Shane Victorino is available or not. Shane was in the starting lineup today and was lifted about a half hour or so before. There's John Mayberry. He's available. Placido Polanco. Eric Kratz.
Top of the order has not gotten on much in this series at all. And it's really hard to score runs when that happens.
Utley to left field. Not deep. Playable for Martin Prado. And it turns out to be an easy 8th inning for Chris Medlin. 1-2-3 go the Phils. We move to the 9th inning. Jonathan Papelbon's going to commit to the ball game for the Phillies. Game responsibility wheels. What's your policy?
What a play by Ryan Howard on his buddy Michael Bourne. Not only does he catch it, he somehow beats him to the bag. Tremendous play there. And then this is going to be a triple if Hayward doesn't catch it, because nobody can back that up in time that he can get to it and prevent Pierre from being at third base. Great play by Jason Hayward in right field. Our defensive plays of the game from Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Well, here we go. Top of the 9th inning. Jonathan Papelbon will come into the ball game to try to keep this in a 1-run game and give the Phils offense an opportunity in the bottom of the 9th inning. This series, the Braves have done a number of things right. The top of their order, Prado and Bourne,
Well, they've combined to score 4 runs. It may not seem like a big deal, but they've been on base an awful lot for Freddie Gonzalez. Conversely, for the Phillies, their top of the order only has 2 hits. The first 2 batters in this lineup for the Phillies.
And even get down into 3, and it gets more dire. You know, that they haven't been able to do anything at the top of their order. So, you know, it's very hard to score runs when your first 3 guys are not on base, especially the first 2.
Yeah, Chase is 1 for 11 in this series.
Yeah, so they'll add 1 more hit on there and 11 more at bats, and you get a real feel for how tough it's been to score runs in this series.
Papelbon delivers outside to Bourne. It's 1-0. Bourne today is 1 for 4.
And he's another guy who can put a run on the board real quick for you. So they, as you say, you need to keep it to 1 because you have the best reliever in the league coming in.
Bourne is aboard. Friday gets to it. It's a leadoff single here in the 9th. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long. Bring Martin Prado to the plate.
He's so good at handling the bat. You wonder how much they really want another run when they would bunt with him, but he can hit the ball in the hole so well too, or hit it the other way to get you a first and third.
First pitch is a strike. It's 0-1.
Yeah, no sign of a bunt. Papelbon looking in at Bellino, thought he had a strike there, and he said it was high.
I thought that was a strike too.
A few guys staring in there today.
Two and 1 the count to Martin Prado. Line drive, that'll hook foul. It's a perfect storm. Good seats, bring glove to a game, foul ball territory. That is souvenir.
Stay the whole game.
Yep.
Get rewarded. Maybe 2 in the 9th. Well, let's keep it to 1 here.
He sprayed that foul behind the plate.
He really had him pulling off on that pitch. Prado does like the ball away, though. He can work. Well, he works it. He can work if it's in, which is unusual. But the ball away, he can hammer it to right. This guy's just a good player. I always looked at him. I think most people did in baseball and thought he was a nice extra man. he got a chance to play, and he showed he's a lot more than an extra man.
He's got over 100 hits this year. There's not too many guys. I think there's only 2.
He's an everyday player and a good one.
Only 2 that are not going to the All-Star game who have 100 hits.
And this is a guy that Charlie took a few years ago. That
was
extra
Infante.
guy. Oh, I was Infante.
But he was on that team too.
Yeah, Prado was on there. I knew he talked about him a lot.
Or Pardo, as Charlie called him.
Well, he has a little trouble with his name. Yeah. That's that guy who used to be an announcer for game shows, right? Don Pardo.
Yeah. Two and 2 the count. Runner goes. Pitch hit foul.
Figured at some point Michael Bourne was going to run and waited to 2-2.
He goes again. Ball's popped up. Left side of the infield. I think they tried to deke him a little bit, but he's so fast.
Chase Utley did. Obviously Rollins couldn't because he had to keep looking up in the air for the pop-up. But Utley gave him a little flip down there like they were trying to turn a double play. It's always fun to watch this. Once in a while he takes a peek in. Now, but I see what Utley's doing right there. But Michael Bourne picked the ball up right away. He saw it was in the air. Now it's still in the air. I better get back.
I love when that works, but it's really funny. Guy gets caught for a little bit.
It's embarrassing when that happens to somebody. Guy will slide into second.
Bourne goes. He slipped and then came back.
A lot of times it happens on a straight steal too. You know, on a ball when they're running, when they know the guy's swinging or it's a count or something, they peek in and they can find a little quicker. And Michael Bourne does a Lonnie Smith down there.
Want to know the count? Two and 0.
This guy's made leaps and bounds over last year. Oh.
They're announcing now that Simmons, who left earlier with a pinky injury, has a fracture to the 5th metatarsal and will meet with a doctor tomorrow to consult how they're going to handle it. I guess that means whether there's going to be surgery or not.
What a big loss that is for the Braves.
All on a slide.
On a slide, and a good play on his part, where he saw the play taking a long time to finish up in center field, and he took the extra base and he breaks a finger.
It's a shame.
Yeah, it really is. Here it is. So it's the left hand we're looking at. There goes the. Oh, it's the right hand. Yeah, the right hand, and you can't see the finger going into the bag, but he broke his finger.
Two and 1 the count. A foul ball. 2-2.
The head first slide is good and bad. Head first slide, you break fingers, break hands. And the infielders really don't care if you come in head first.
It'll be interesting to see how the Braves handle that. Obviously, they have Jack Wilson, they have Pasternicki down in the minor leagues.
Right. Well, I would think you'd see Pasternicki up here, and one of those two guys are going to play.
It's 2-2 to Jason Hayward with the runner at first.
All their pitchers went, oh no.
Bourne goes, and the pitch swung on and missed. The throw to second, not in time. Boy, he is lightning quick.
He sure is.
25 stolen bases for Bourne.
You talk about a guy doing a great job. Carlos Ruiz had a tremendous pitch to handle, great footwork, Tremendous release, perfect throw. Bourne beat it easily. Papelbon is not real quick to the plate, obviously, but still. Look, that's almost like a pitch out. It's high. It throws a little bit high, but still. You're going to get a lot of guys on that with what Reeves just did there.
Well, here's McCann, who has 2 RBIs today. He's 2 for 4, a home run, an RBI single. He has 5 hits in the series. He's 5 for 12. All that extra work with his brother after the Cubs series seems to have paid off. Told the story last night on radio that McCann went home to Alpharetta, where his dad and his father have a hitting school, and they broke down his swing. Brian did with his brother. Broke it down from how he enters the box, how he sets his hands, how he gets his hands back, all that stuff. Whether that worked or not, something did, because he's had himself a heck of a series.
Well, probably that all helped, and also the plane right up here. Because once he sees this place and sees that ivy and stuff out there in center field, he lights up. I'm sure he's had bad series here. It just doesn't seem like it.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. There's Kimbrel just standing on the top of the mound.
Those perpetually red cheeks. And boy, can he throw. Last night he was 97, 98, 99. Chase Utley playing really deep on McCann, of course, with 2 outs. The crowd trying to get Papelbon and the Phillies through this with 1. There is career numbers here.
Including 3 home runs in this series.
Big time.
Two and 2 the count to Brian McCann. Swing and a miss. He got it with 96. Back-to-back strikeouts for Papelbon, who leads a runner in scoring position. Now the Phils have one more chance to do some damage with Ryan Howard leading it off.
Been in this series. Well, 3 straight games he has had big home runs for the Atlanta Braves. How about the grand slam off Antonio Bastardo? on Friday night. Then last night he gets Joe Blanton early in the game to right center field. And then this afternoon in a 3-3 game, 2 outs, nobody on base. Valdez down the middle. You could see Carlos Ruiz just drop his head because he knew that one was not going to come back to the yard unless they find it out there in the bushes.
Those are WB Mason deliveries of the game, deliveries of the series. So Brian McCann will settle back behind the plate for Craig Kimbrel. 0-1, a 1.41 earned run average. He has only 1 blown save, but since that blown save, he saved 16 straight. It'll be Ryan Howard, Carlos Ruiz, Hunter Pence. And Ryan fouls the first ball off his foot. He got a fastball, and it's 0-1.
Talk about something to give you a little confidence going in the All-Star break would be to get this guy. And they are not playing the 3-man overshift on Kimbrel because he throws so hard. You figure it's good a chance to hit one to the left of second base. He's due to the right. You see the more of a conventional pull defense.
Ryan fouls it away.
It's really hard to jump out. All the off-speed stuff they've seen in this series, now they're not going to see it. Although he does have a pretty good breaking ball.
Did he go? Yeah. Yes, he did, says Dan Bellino. 1 out here in the ninth.
Trying to get started quick on a fastball that only came up there at 99. Right off, not playing for a long time, and he faced this guy. Tough.
Carlos has 2 hits today.
Guarding the line. With Francisco was a little bit surprising. I'd almost put the first baseman on the line with a right-handed hitter with Kimbrel. But, you know, they play a percentage on a pull, on pulling the ball. But I think you're more likely to shoot one the other way because you're going to be late on this guy.
Throws a slider. Ruiz checked. Nope, he didn't.
See, they're all trying to get started. That's 10 miles per hour difference, the slider and the fastball, and trying to get started quickly to catch up to him. Then he'll throw one of those. He tired a little bit last year and struggled. And one of the reasons why the Braves didn't make it to postseason.
And a fastball, and he went. 2 batters, 2 strikeouts. Don't forget, after the ball game, stay tuned for John Clark and Mike Missinelli. They'll break down the game, highlights and insights on the Phils. Plus, your Facebook and message board questions get answered. It's the Phillies postgame show live from Sugar House Casino. And it's coming up after the ball game. Phillies down to their final out.
Well, this would make some sound if he hit his bat, wouldn't it?
Yeah. To right field. Hayward back there on the track, and the Braves have swept out the Phillies to finish up the first half of the 2012 regular season. The Phils have lost 10 of 11 as they lose today by a final score of 4-3. Brian McCann is our Chevrolet player of the game. 2 for 5 with a home run and 2 RBIs, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs in the series. Craig Kimbrel earns another save. Now the Braves will go into the All-Star break, depending on what happens down in Washington, 4 games out in the National League East. Meanwhile, the Phillies, well, they'll be either 14 games out or 15 games out, again, depending on what the Nationals do down in Washington. They're 2 outs in that ball game. And the Rockies lead it by 1. 4-3 the final score. The Braves have defeated the Phillies. We'll be back right after this.